Hey y'all, I just got up and I'm hungry. That dinner from yesterday did not hold me at all. But I don't want pancakes. I don't want waffles. Hmm, I know. Let's do French toast today. Let's go. The first thing you're gonna need is a bowl that's big enough for your toast. You need some eggs. You need some milk. You know I like the 1% milk. You need some bread, of course. I like wheat, but we're gonna do white today because somebody else is gonna eat it. Um, we need some cinnamon sugar, a little tap of vanilla, and salt and pepper. And usually I put a little sugar, but I'm gonna use syrup. So I'm going to just use the cinnamon sugar today, and that won't overpower my syrup. First thing you want to start doing is to heat your pan. It's better to use a flat pan, a platter, than to use a skillet because that way you can get more bread on it and it's evenly spread. So we have our platter. I can feel the heat from it. I don't like using oil. Of course, you know that if you've been watching my shows. So I'm going to take a little margarine and put over it so it, yeah, I'm trying not to burn my hand, so it does not stick to the pan. And that is also the reason why I don't add margarine or butter to my mixture because it's already going to be on the skillet to stick. Now, once I get it on there and get my butter melted, I see it's warm, I take it off the fire because I don't want it, my butter burning up while I'm trying to make my wash. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make my wash. All my ingredients, I have to have something to drink out. I didn't want to do coffee this morning. Even though there is coffee made, I didn't want to drink coffee this morning because I knew I was going to be making this toast and I don't want the coffee and the syrup jacking me up. The other thing you need that I did not mention is a whisk. Y'all know if we're gonna stir up something, we got to stir it up with something. So this is what we use. So I need to break all of my eggs. I put these out the way. Yeah, it's kind of how to do. I don't know how you break your eggs. It's just, you know, it's kind of the way I do it. I've seen people very precise and they just drop, and separate this and get their spoons and tap. It really does not take all that for me. My only thing is getting them broke, getting them in the wherever they're supposed to be going, getting the membrane out. If you've ever watched any videos I've done where it required eggs, you know I do not like the little slimy membrane that comes in the egg. And even though I know that that is part of the egg itself and the yolk, I still don't like the way it looks. It just does not look like anything that I want to be eaten. So I'm gonna get this last little bit out. Okay, that's done. So I'm gonna add me some salt now. Not a lot, just enough to get the twang, as we say, out of the egg. Gonna add a little pepper. We're gonna add our cinnamon sugar, and you want to put just enough to cover the bottom of the bowl. You don't want to fill it up. Just want to make sure that it's, in there, you can see it. I want to take just a teensy drop of vanilla, because vanilla is strong. When I say a teensy drop, I mean one little drop like that. And you know how to put the rest of it back. And we're going to, now I have this whisk out, but since I had to use the fork, I can just use the fork. And I take my fork and I kind of beat it. You can see that. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever told you, but the longer you beat your eggs, the fluffier they'll get. And you want to beat them all around the bowl, because you want to pick up all of that sugar, especially the cinnamon sugar. You want to pick it all up because it will stay in one spot. So you want to just keep on stir, lift. You're not stirring, actually. You're kind of more tumbling. So kind of tumble it. Bring it up, round, up, round, up, round. And that looks good. I don't see any just loose egg, any thick parts in there. So that looks like it's ready. So we're going to add our last ingredient, which is the milk. And we already have a good bit of egg mixture already. So we're just going to use just a little milk, just a tap of milk. Why do we use the milk? That is a good question. I have no idea other than to give it a little flavor and to keep it, from adding water to your egg, because that wouldn't be nice. So I guess milk is the best thing to use. Throw that protein and the dairy in there together. I don't know. I've always done it like that. I never really looked for a recipe for French toast. I just kind of fell into making it. I don't even remember how. It's just something that I started making for my children and looked up one day, and that's how I made it. So I'm going to put this pan back on here, but I'm going to make sure this time I'm putting the handle to the back, because I have this wash and I'm going to be moving from this to this. And I don't need anything in the way, otherwise I might burn myself. So always turn your handles in the opposite direction that you are, or that opposite direction that you're going to be working in. So otherwise, you could knock the skillet over, pan over, pot over, and get a serious burn. And we do not want that to happen. So what I do, I take my bread, drop it in, let it soak just for a minute. Drop it in, soak for a minute, because I don't want it wet. And then I place it on there. And that's how we're going to do each one. Soak, drip, drop. Soak, drip, drop. Soak, drip, and drop. And you want to make sure when you're doing this that your skillet is already hot because you want to do your presentation part first. So when you put it on that side, you want it to start cooking good, but you don't want it to burn. You really want all your cooking to be done on the opposite side. So all you doing on the front side is just making it pretty, getting it set on that particular side. But to get done, it's actually going to start getting done when I flip it over. And I'm going to use a plastic I'm going to use a plastic spatula because I don't want to scratch this plate up, but I still can't find my other flipper. I have no idea where it went. Somebody must have borrowed it out of the kitchen and didn't bring it back, and I don't know why they would have it anywhere other than in the kitchen, but you never know around here what the deal is. So we want to turn it over. Make sure it's nice and pretty. Go. Ooh, that looks good. So at this point, I want to turn my heat down low because I already have it done on one side, and now I want it to take its time and soak all the way from underneath to the top. I want that heat to cook that egg in between. I hate to get French toast. Oh my goodness. Cut it and it's wet. I don't like wet eggs. Wet eggs to me, they're gross. So I don't really do wet eggs. Now I can press this a little bit and that lets me know that it is cooking because this bread is not going anywhere. Nowhere. It's not smashing at all. So that means it is cooking good. Now I can move it around. I see it's not sticking. I can smell the cinnamon. So it's enough for me to smell, but I can't see it. So it's definitely the right amount. Some people like theirs a little more done so that they know the egg is really done. Some people like theirs a little less done. They like theirs a little. They don't really want it as fried. So I have to kind of judge when I'm doing it which one to do first so that when I take it off, people that want more fried eggs have it, and people who want their eggs less fried are on here at the same time. And so it's easy to do that. You just consider it before you start, and the ones that you want to cook longer, you put those on actually last, because it would seem like you put them on first, but actually you want to put them on last because the skillet is going to be hot when you put it on there, but as it cooks, the skillet is going to get hotter. So when it does that, that is your opportunity to make your toast a little bit darker, a little more done. Now, this is something else that I do. I don't know if other people do it or not. This is my thing. You always have a little egg wash left. It's like, okay, this is egg. I am not going to throw this away. So you have little holes in your egg, in your toast rather, when you're doing your egg. So I go in and I fill in those little holes. And I let that cook into it. And yes, it dribbles onto the skillet because, of course, the holes are done. It's just little drops where you can see with your eye, but the toast is done. That's why the egg goes over. But that's not a problem because you are literally cooking eggs on the toast anyway. So you let that egg do its thing and you go back and you flip it back onto the side that it was on. And see, you had a little egg. That little egg does not hurt because it's actually going to be a little scrambled egg when you finish. Throw that on there. And you toss that one back. I'm not the best flipper in the world, y'all. You should see me when I'm doing pancakes. Woo, that is entertaining because I have to do them really small because I cannot flip a large pancake for the world. My mom does it so easy. She makes it look so simple. She just takes it and whoop, it's done. I'm like, mine breaks up. It's not ready. If I wait long enough on a thick, big pancake to get to the point where I like to flip pancakes, it would probably be burnt. That's why I make small pancakes. And if you look at some of my videos, you probably have seen me making pancakes. And in that video, I also let a few people know that, or rather, how to know when to flip your pancakes, because that's a question that I've been asked by people that have watched me cook pancakes. How do I know when it's time to flip it to keep from burning it and to keep it fluffy? So I talk about all of that in the pancake video. So if you want to know that, or you want to just see me cook those pancakes, some people call them hot cakes. I don't care. Question: if a hot cake is a hot cake when it's hot, what is it called when it cools off? Is it still a hot cake? Or is it a cold cake? Or is it a room temperature cake? I mean, come on, I don't know. Somebody who made up the name, please let us know. If we want it to be a hot cake, do we have to put it back in the heat, put it in the microwave to still have a hot cake? Or do we just roll with it and say, oh, well, it was once a hot cake, but it is a hot cake no more. We're just going to eat it. So that's why I would prefer calling it a pancake. Because most times, yes, it's not cooked in a pan, but we call skillets pan. So I think either way it would still be a pancake. But I'm not quite sure about that hot cake part. Put it in the comments. Let me know what you think. But guess what? These are done. They're ready. And you want to see what the side looks like with the extra egg? There you go. It's just extra egg fried on it. See? Just some extra egg. But the presentation side is beautiful. Beautiful. It's like, okay, so what are you going to do with the other egg? This is all the egg that was left. That was all. What am I doing with it? I'm going to put it on the side and eat it. That's how you do that. So that looks amazing. Threw my little eggs on the side. I can use some real molasses. I mean, this is the real thing, y'all. Or use me a little butter. or we use what we call in the South biscuit syrup. And that's probably because they have biscuits on the label. But we call this biscuit syrup, we call this pancake syrup. Okay, there are pancakes on the front, there are biscuits on the front of those. So it's not crazy that we call it pancake syrup and biscuit syrup. Even though this is a different brand, this is kind of a new brand that I'm trying out. That's smart. No, it's so far it's pretty good. They are new to the area. They still look like an off brand, but I've seen them a lot of places. So maybe in the city or somewhere they are, the other big names that I'm not gonna name. But this was a gift to my dad. I have never tried it. It is real cane molasses. And I don't think I'm ready for that yet. So I'm going to just stick with probably the pancake syrup. They're closer to pancakes than they are to biscuits. So I'll just stick a little pancake syrup on there. And we are ready to go. Y'all tell me if you liked it. Bye. Okay, y'all, with biscuit syrup, this is what I'm wondering. No matter how clean I clean the biscuit syrup before I put it back in the cabinet, do you see that every time I pull it back out, there's syrup on the outside that has drizzled? And this would make sense to me if we were pouring it in the cap, then recapping it, and of course something would drip back down. But the cap does not touch the syrup. Is there some type of leak in this glass that causes that? Am I the only one that noticed that? I mean, I clean this every time up under the faucet with water and soap, and it still comes back with something else on it. So let me know. I'm imkimberlyracin.
Kimberly Racine, she step on the set clean. 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 K-I-M-B-E-R-L-Y. Kimberly Racine, she step on the set clean. K-I-M-B-E-R-L-Y.